Congratulations on passing the bar.
Your Honor, let him argue the case.
Mr. Van.
No!
Do what you think is right.
There's nothing more thrilling than nailing an insurance company.
Could feel him on that. Been there. Matt and Christine here, and for this movie legal review, we're doing my personal favorite, The Rainmaker. And I love this movie so much that I don't know if they love it or hate it, but every attorney I've ever had working with me, I make them sit and watch this movie with me. Because in addition to being my favorite, it's also really true to life as we're going to go through here.
It's true. Let's get started.
My father hated lawyers all his life. He wasn't a great guy, my old man. He drank and beat up my mother. He beat me up too. So you might think I became a lawyer just to piss him off. But you'd be wrong. I'd wanted to be a lawyer ever since I read about the civil rights lawyers in the 50s and 60s and the amazing uses they found for the law. They did what a lot of people thought was the impossible. They gave lawyers a good name. And so I went to law school. And it did piss my father off, but he was pissed off anyway.
So I can relate to young Rudy here. Not only did I not have any connections, I didn't even know anybody that was a lawyer. I grew up in a small town, basically, in the woods. So I can feel Rudy here. How about you?
I became a lawyer for my dad, but not to piss him off. It was something that he always dreamed of for me. So he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself.
Here's a policy. What do you think?
Oh, this is the scratch and sniff armpit of the industry. What are their grounds for denial?
Oh, well, everything. They first denied it just on principle, and then they said that leukemia was a pre-existing condition, and they said leukemia wasn't covered in the policy.
So what you're seeing here, certainly something we deal with all the time, and that's a insurance company denying the claim, saying the damages are pre-existing. In this case, it's a health insurance policy. So basically they're saying that you were, had some kind of issue before you had the insurance. It comes up a lot because it's obviously really subject to interpretation. You have a hurricane come and it causes, knocks a bunch of shingles off your roof, puts a hole in your roof. But if you want to stretch that language, you could say, well, you had a little, one of your shingles was a little bit bent, so it's all pre-existing damage, something like that. So, something that comes up a lot, and I know we could definitely resonate what they're dealing with here.
Great Benefit first denied your claim last August. When Donnie Ray was diagnosed. Why'd y'all wait till now to consult a lawyer?
So in this clip, Rudy asks Ms. Black why she hadn't contacted an attorney until now. And oftentimes, clients aren't aware of their rights. They don't know that they can challenge insurance companies' claims decisions when they have a basis to do so.
A lot of lawyers get bad raps. That's why there's so many lawyer jokes.
How do you know when a lawyer is lying? His lips are moving.
So you get a denial letter from an insurance company, you can't imagine that you would be able to hire a lawyer, and it seems like it'd be something that's very expensive, but a lot of people like her here, they don't know that there's actually laws out there to help you. So I'm very proud to say we've handled 1,000 cases and we've never received a check from our client because we've never had to charge our clients because we're able to represent them on a contingency fee, just like Rudy's agreeing to here.
What kind of lawyer do you want to be?
I enjoy trial work, so I'd like to spend my days in the courtroom.
That sounds like you.
I gotta say, it's a kind of a love-hate relationship because it's something that I love to do. I'm enjoying while you do it, but there's so much anxiety that comes with it, so much anticipation every time. I'm sick to my stomach, waiting for the jury verdict to come back, preparing, always wondering if you did everything you could possible to get the best result for your client. So it's something that, it's very stressful, but at the same time, I can't imagine another thing in the world I would want to do.
Oh my God. I passed the bar.
So we're gonna be ready for tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock. We're gonna argue Great Benefits motion to dismiss.
Yeah, I think we're ready. We're ready. So Deck and I have been going over it. I think we're ready.
I hope so, because I might have you handle some of that argument, Rudy. It would be awfully embarrassing if we lose this case on dismissal.
so terrified of the bar exam that I studied nonstop. I ended up getting a call from a U.S. Marshal, and obviously I'm like, oh man, am I in trouble? But they ended up telling me I got one of the highest scores and had me come do a speech. So it definitely something that you celebrate. I remember for sure. But we heard Rudy explain he's got a motion to dismiss coming up. We know about that, right?
Yeah, those are frequently filed in our cases, which can be pretty nerve-wracking because you run the risk of having the case dismissed.
She doesn't work here anymore.
Was she fired?
She resigned. She resigned.
Well, where is she now?
Well, she's no longer working for our client, and we can't produce her as a witness, so let's move along.
All right, Russell Crockett. Anybody in the room named Russell Crockett?
He's gone too. Downsized.
Downsized. What a coincidence.
So in this case, Rudy's case is a bad faith case. And basically what that is, the case is about whether the insurance company is doing something wrong as a business practice. And we handle a lot of those cases, and this comes up a lot, where basically the insurance company is playing a shell game here. What they're trying to do is the people that were responsible for the improper conduct or violating the guidelines that they're supposed to follow, all of a sudden the case comes, depots come, and all of a sudden they can't be found. So that's what Rudy's dealing with here. He was supposed to show up and get the depositions of the people that were involved in handling his client's claim. And all of a sudden, Leo Drummond's telling him none of them are around and they're hiding everybody. And that's something we deal with a lot.
Yeah. So here we're taking the deposition not only of the claims handler and other people associated with the claim, but Rudy's also taking the corporate representative's deposition. So obviously an insurance company isn't a person, right? It's an entity. So the corporate representative is somebody that's designated to provide testimony on behalf of the insurance company as if it were a real person.
Mr. Drummond, you've objected to the fast tracking of this case. What's the problem? Let me ask you something, Mr. Drummond. As a defense lawyer, have you ever agreed to the fast tracking of a lawsuit?
I mean, this is probably the coolest judge I've seen in my life, and what he's dealing with here is something that comes up in nearly every single case that we have. So we're representing plaintiffs. We're trying to do what Rudy's doing. We're trying to get our clients their day in the court as quick as possible. So every case, we're noticing for trial, asking for the quickest trial date possible. And, kind of similar to Leo, it's very common for us to be, the responses that we get is insurance companies never available. They're asking for a continuous, delaying it as much as possible. So definitely feel this, and I just wish, more judges like this were out there, because he's really holding his feet to the fire there. And you can imagine Leo's not going to be able to come up with a case that he had agreed to fast track before.
You'll also notice that they are having the hearing in the judge's office. That's something called the judge's chambers. So it's pretty rare. Oftentimes hearings are held in open court in the courtroom, but here they chose to have this specific hearing in chambers.
Leukemia because the defendant, great benefit.
Objection. Leading.
Your son, Donnie Ray, needed an
Objection.
operation.
Leading.
Mrs. Black, did you purchase this medical policy because you were concerned about medical care for your
Objection.
son?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Leading.
Easy.
Great benefit. July 7th.
It doesn't matter how many cases I try. It doesn't matter if I'm trying 3 cases in a row, back to back to back. At the start of every trial, I'm nervous no matter what. And, this is Rudy's first trial ever. And I'll tell you, that feeling never goes away. It always feels the same no matter how many of them you do.
He's also getting thrown off because Leo Drummond keeps objecting, so every time Rudy feels like he's got a groove going and he asks a question, then Leo jumps in and objects as to leading or, what have you. So that definitely can trip you up, but if you push through, you'll always find a way.
Gotta think on your feet like young Rudy here.
That's true. That's true.
1996. Policy 78499009886. Dear Mrs. Black, on 7 prior occasions, this company has denied your claim in writing. We now deny it for the 8th and final time. You must be stupid, stupid, stupid. Sincerely, Everett Lufkin, Vice President, Claims Department.
So here you see that the letter's being displayed on a projector screen. So we have some experience with that.
I mean, I think this is in the 90s, so this is pretty impressive if you're going way back then for him to get up on the screen and highlight that. Easier now, obviously, but that's how we handle every case. So we got it down to a little iPad where you get all the stuff on the screen. It helps a lot, like you see Rudy doing here, where you can highlight what you want the jury to see, so you can really make it a feature in your case. And he's certainly doing that with his denial letter here, where they've called his poor client stupid. So that's what Rudy's doing.
I didn't do very good, did I?
Oh, no, you did fine. You did fine. It's all right. The jury can see it. The jury can see exactly what he's up to. The jury can see what he's up to. Don't worry about it.
I need to smoke.
I know you do. We're going to get to that later.
Rudy's client comes back, and she's pretty upset about her testimony. And it's one of the things I tell all of our clients before they testify in either a deposition or a trial. No matter what happens, you never feel great about it, and it's never going to go perfect. The other side is always going to try to downplay the significance of your case. And you can see it's really getting to her here. And it's something that happens, unfortunately, every time you're going to have that feeling. And our clients certainly do, in some way each time, no matter how good they do.
It's not up to you to win your case. You're just there to tell the truth and to let the evidence come in.
Claim handlers are directed to deny all claims within 3 days of receipt of claim. No exceptions.
There was a portion of the policy that they had been hiding the entire time, and that's the central thing in this case. In Rudy's bad faith case, he's trying to show that the insurance company, Great Benefit, had a procedure where they would just deny claims across the board, and he finds exactly that. So you could see that the CEO came in real confident, really arrogant, and his face turns pretty quick once Rudy caught him. And I could tell you as a lawyer, that's the best thing in the world when you have somebody on the stand and they're lying. Like that CEO was, and you confront them with the truth, their faces turn just like his did there. So I know that was a great moment for Rudy.
Rudy, come on, get up. Come on, it's time. All right, let's go. Come on.
Sleeping in the suit, and that brings back some memories for me. I've been there a few times. In fact, I had one time we had a trial that we were doing. And so I got up, we tried the first case, and I was focused on my client's case. I didn't think about checking for a hotel room. And sure enough, I go, and there's no hotel rooms everywhere. So I actually ended up, and this was in one of our other offices, so traveled up there for it, couldn't get a hotel room, and actually spent the night sleeping on the floor in our office. So I could definitely feel Rudy.
What will giving a judgment of $10 million accomplish? All insurance company premiums will spin out of reach, and it will pave the way for government-controlled health coverage. Yours is a grave responsibility. Be wise, be careful, and be just. Be just.
Leo Drummond's in the tough spot here. So he really makes his closing argument about trying to lessen the amount that the jury would give. And he's talking about things like increasing insurance premiums and trying to, dissuade the jury from awarding Rudy's client, a large amount. And that's something that we always think about from the beginning of the case, that everybody has their different feelings about insurance and insurance premiums. So, when we're picking a jury, that's one of the questions we always ask. How do you feel about insurance premiums? Are you worried that giving a verdict will make your premiums go up? We ask those questions in case, we get in a situation like Leo Drummond is here, where he's trying to use that to dissuade the jury from just ruling on his case based on the evidence.
It's no wonder they spend so much money on their lawyers and their lobbyists and their public relations machine to convince us we need tort reform, that we need to put an end to punitive damages.
What Rudy's asking the jury to award is punitive damages. And those are something that are available in a bad faith case like this. It's something that we pursue in bad faith cases. And they're different than really every other damage. The purpose is to deter an insurance company like Great Benefit from treating policyholders wrong the way they did here. So that's what we see Rudy talking about and asking for during his closing argument.
You can imagine that having a procedure in place company-wide to deny claims no matter what from the beginning, that would be improper claims handling.
Easiest example, just denying them no matter what when they come in.
We, the jury, find for the plaintiff and award actual damages in the amount of $150,000. And we, the jury, find for the plaintiff and award punitive damages in the amount of $50 million.
Insurance company Great Benefit filed for protection under the bankruptcy code at federal court in Cleveland. Many states are now investigating Great Benefit, and a number of class action lawsuits have been filed. For CNN, Jim Redmond reporting.
Shortly after the verdict, doesn't have too much time to celebrate because he finds out that the insurance company is going bankrupt. And unfortunately, it's something that happens. We've had that come up in our cases. So one of the things we try to do is kind of keep an eye on the insurance companies. Unfortunately, it's often the ones like Great Benefit that are handling claims wrong and subject to these kind of bad faith cases that are also the ones that just happen to not be financially stable either. And we've had a lot of cases where we've had very large judgments that ended up not being paid because, like Great Benefit, once we got the judgment, they ended up filing bankruptcy. So it's a sad thing for Rudy here, obviously, but it's something that does happen.
I do like at the end though when Miss Black is like, this little lady took down an entire insurance company.
You put him out of business, Doc.
One little woman from Memphis, Tennessee, bankrupted them sons of...
She's a gangster. She's your ideal client. She wasn't going to let him get away with that, and you got to really respect somebody like Miss Black who sees what they did to her son, really had a problem with it, and she was going to see that case through no matter what. And it's kind of touching there at the end. She does make them accountable in some way, and at least gets the jury to recognize that what they had done to her son was wrong.
All right, that was it. What do you think?
I told you from the beginning, that's my favorite legal movie. So, I mean, it definitely a 10 for me. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best legal movies ever. It's pretty accurate, and I understand why you make all of us watch it.
100%. It's very true to life, especially with what we do. And then, in addition to being a great movie, you got a young Matt Damon on the scene coming up. You got John Voight playing Leo Drummond. I mean, I think it's probably when he's at his best. And everybody loves Danny DeVito. So you put them all together, definitely my favorite legal movie for sure. And I'm not going to stop making everybody watch it.